Welcome, friends. I'm Chris. I'm from Transformation Nation Yoga and Wellness, and welcome to our Vinyasa flow practice. What I think you'll need to be safe, to enjoy, and to get the most out of your practice are a yoga mat, and preferably a yoga mat that gives you some good frictional resistance. So long term, like I don't necessarily recommend any specific brand of mat. I don't think there's a specific price point, like you need to spend X amount of money on a mat in order to get the kind of mat that you need. But for a vinyasa practice, I think it makes a lot of sense to have a mat that even when you start to sweat a little bit, gives you some good frictional resistance. And other than that, all you'll need are one or two foam or cork yoga blocks. I recommend having blocks that are of the same width. That's all you'll need. So pause your recording, roll out your mat, gather up your props, and when you're ready, press play, and I'll meet you on your mat for our Vinyasa flow practice. All right, friends, we're going to begin our practice today in child's pose. So come down onto your mat. Bring your knees out nice and wide. Bring your big toes together to touch. Press the shoelace parts of your feet into the earth. Start dropping your seat back toward your heels. Now, it may not touch. Walk your hands forward. Release your chest and your forehead down toward the earth. Now, if your head or your heart don't come down to rest organically and naturally, that's okay. But I'd like you to be able to relax here. So place something under your forehead or your heart, maybe a block. You could use a bolster here too. And then lift up onto cupcake or spider fingers. So come up onto the tips of your fingers. Walk your hands forward toward the top edge of your mat, and then drop the palms of your hands, wrists, forearms, elbows down toward the earth. And job one, as always, is just to arrive here. Notice where you're feeling the most provocative sense of sensation. And job two is breath. Start to lengthen out your breath. Lengthen out your inhale and your exhale. And I just wanted to begin our practice mentioning a couple things about the format. This format will be faster. If you've practiced other formats with me in the past, this will be faster than you're typically will be accustomed to me cueing. And there'll be more dynamic, athletic movements, right? So what I would say is everything is optional, and the pace is not compulsory. You can always keep your own pace. And also recognize we start these practices as think of these practices as a bell-shaped curve. So we start fairly accessible, fairly low sensation. We add sensation and we add more and more heat to the practice. But everything we're doing is constructive work. So if we get to a point where what we're doing no longer feels good in your body, start doing something that we did earlier in the practice that felt good. Right? Start to shift into your ujjayi breath, constricting the whisper muscles at the base of your throat, lending that texture, that audible quality to your breath. And start walking your hands over to the left. Your left hand may come up off the mat. Use your right hand to cover your left hand. And where I'd really like you to attend a sensation here is in the bottom of the right armpit. So we want length along the whole right side of the body, but continue walking your right hand further over to the left. Maybe pressing your right sits bone closer down toward your right heel. Breathing the whole time. And then walk your hands back through the center of your mat. Change sides. Walk both hands over to the right. Right hand may come all the way off the mat. Left hand may cover the right, or left hand may walk out to the right, even beyond your right hand. Bring your hands back to the center of your mat. And then on your next inhale, lift up into a tabletop shape. Floating your shoulders over your wrists, floating your hips over your knees, index fingers roughly at 12 o'clock. On an inhale, drop your belly down toward the earth. Drag the heels of your hands back toward your knees. Lift your gaze, open your heart. Exhale, press into your hands and your shins. Pop the space between your shoulder blades up toward the stars, round through your shoulders. Keep flowing through this. Do this at least 5 more times at the cadence and the pace of your own breath. And as we start to shift closer into the sun salutations, we're going to be opening up today with prayer twist and an easy twist in the sun A's, which is pretty early in a practice to be twisting. Like, so honor your body. If you lose the breath or you start to get pain in your lower back, ease out of the twist. It may be too early in the practice, or it may just be too much twist for your body. The amount that we can comfortably twist and our character and quality of the human being as a human being are two totally different things. It's not the same thing. So please don't put yourself in that kind of mindset. And come back into a neutral spine position. Walk your left hand over to the center of your mat, so more or less under your sternum. On an inhale, open your heart up to the right. Now you could keep your right hand on your hip or your low back the whole time, or you could lift the fingers of your right hand up toward the stars. And then as you exhale, thread your right arm under your left, come onto your right shoulder. And if you're getting crunching in your neck, right away, lift up your right temple, walk the crown of your head forward toward the top edge of your mat, and then set it back down. Now, you're already doing the pose. If you wanted to add sensation, press your right arm, your right shoulder more firmly down into the earth. You can walk your left hand forward, maybe come up onto cupcake or spider fingers, or you could wrap that left arm behind your lower back. Right. One more thing. Sometimes this is taught like if you want to add sensation, you can lengthen the left leg out long behind you, come onto the ball of that left foot. That's not wrong. That will add sensation. But I find for my money, lengthening the right leg long behind me, coming up onto the ball of the right foot gives me even more sensation there. Slide your left hand back under your left shoulder. If either knee is lifted, place them back under you. And then on an inhale, press into your left hand, open your heart up to the right. Exhale, right hand down to the center of your mat. Inhale, open your heart up to the left. Exhale, thread your left arm under your right, come onto your left shoulder. Adjust your neck so it's comfortable, so you have a comfortable level of sensation. And then you can add sensation or reduce sensation with any of the tools that we talked about before. So as I mentioned earlier, this will be a little bit faster sequence than I typically teach. But what will be the same, I would anticipate some pretty long deep holds and a million options along the way. Bring your right hand back under your right shoulder. Inhale, open your heart up to the left again. Exhale, release your left hand down to the earth. Come back into tabletop. On an inhale, tuck your toes under your feet. Ground down into your index knuckle and thumb. Index fingers back at 12 o'clock. And then as you exhale, lift your knees. Hover your knees up off the earth. 1/2 or 3/4 of an inch is plenty. Keep the back of your head buoyant rather than releasing your chin to your chest. Yet, quite yet. And breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Press your hips up and back. Find your down dog. Right away, start to make some movement in your lower body to warm yourself. Maybe pedal your feet out. Maybe sway your hips, but relax your neck for sure. Now let gravity drape your heels down toward the earth. Press down into your index knuckle and thumb again. Relax your neck. Draw your elbows down toward your mat by 3/4 of an inch and tweeze your elbows together as if you were squeezing a beach ball. Relax your neck again. On an inhale, bend your knees. Look forward. Exhale, walk or step to the top edge of your mat. Ragdoll Uttanasana. Feet up to hip distance apart. Rest your whole belly on your thighs. Relax your neck. Shift the weight into the balls of your feet. Any arms here. And release your hands down to the earth. Heel toe your feet together. Shift the weight into your heels. And then on an inhale, find a halfway lift. Long, straight spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press into your feet. Circle your arms all the way up over your head. Exhale, slice your hands down into heart center. Take a couple breaths here, maybe with your thumbs at your sternum, in a soft gaze at the tips of your fingers. Maybe set an intention for your practice for today. Inhale, reach your arms up over your head. Exhale, sit back into an early chair pose. So feet might be together, they might be hip distance apart. Shift the weight into your heels. Scoop your belly button in towards your sternum. Inhale right here. Exhale, slice your hands down into heart center. Inhale. Exhale, prayer twist. Left elbow can come to the inside, top, or outside of that right thigh. So this first one, just to warm into this pose, we're going to stay longer than we will for the rest of these during the sun A's. Inhale, come back into center. Exhale, prayer twist to your left. Take a peek down at the knees. Notice the human tendency for that right knee to want to scoop forward. Draw it back down in line with your left. And only then, if you like, rotate your hips more to the right, open your heart more to the left. Maybe lift your gaze up over your left shoulder. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Good job. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, step your left leg back, left hand down to the mat or to a block. Open your heart up to the right. Easy twist. Press the heel of your left foot further back behind you. Visualize a wall behind your head and shoulders. Press your right shoulder and the back of your heart more firmly into that wall. Inhale. Exhale, release your right hand down to the earth. Step back into high plank. From here, caterpillar pose. Tap your knees down to the earth. Leave the arch in your back. Lower your chin and your chest down to the earth. Hands and arms stay shoulder width apart. And then on an inhale, rock forward onto your belly, hands under your shoulders. Inhale, easy cobra. Pull the heels of your hands back towards your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, step your left leg forward. Right hand down to the mat or to a block. Open your heart up to the left. Now, especially early in these twists, early in the practice, you could keep that hand here, the left hand on the lower back or hip the whole time. And in fact, you could do that for the whole practice. Or float the fingers of your left hand skyward. When we transition, we got several more breaths. The transition will be to a forward fold at the top edge of your mat. Shift your gaze down toward the fingers of your right hand. Inhale. Exhale, step your right leg forward to meet your left, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, slice your hands down into heart center. We're going to start to speed things up. Inhale, reach your arms up over your head. Exhale, sit back into chair pose. Inhale in chair pose. Draw your hands into heart center. Exhale, prayer twist to the left. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, prayer twist to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, step your right leg back. Easy twist to the left. Rise on your inhale. Exhale, release your hands down to the earth. Step into a high plank. Inhale in high plank. Exhale, caterpillar pose. Knees, chest, chin all reach for the earth. Inhale, open your heart. Easy cobra. It's not wrong to do up dog here. It's a little early in the practice for me. Could be just fine for you. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale in your down dog. Exhale, step your right leg forward. Open your heart up to the right. Easy twist. And then find a forward fold at the top edge of your mat. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise. Come all the way up to standing. Exhale, draw your hands to heart center. Inhale, reach your arms up over your head. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale in chair. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale, prayer twist to the right. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, prayer twist to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, left leg back. Easy twist to the right. Inhale. Exhale, high plank. Inhale in high plank. Exhale, caterpillar pose. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale and down dog. Exhale, step your left leg forward. Easy twist to the left. And then forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach your arms over your head. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale and chair. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale right here. Exhale, prayer twist to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, prayer twist to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, right leg back. Easy twist to your left. Inhale. Exhale, high plank. Inhale in your high plank. Exhale, last caterpillar pose of the practice. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Taking a deep, deep, life affirming inhale. And then open your mouth, let that go with a ha sound. Inhale. Exhale, step your right leg forward. Open your heart up to the right in an easy twist. Last easy twist of the practice. And then forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Now, we've been here a lot, so we're not going to hang out a whole bunch. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, step back into high plank. Now, let's spend a little more time in high plank here. So press your heels toward the back edge of your mat. Draw your belly button toward your spine. Take a look at your hands, hands and arms shoulder width apart. Index fingers at 12 o'clock. Press down into your index knuckle and thumb. Puff the space between your shoulder blades more up toward the stars. Keep the back of your head buoyant. Inhale, shift forward onto the toes. Put your shoulders over your wrists. When you exhale, knees up or down, come halfway down. Chaturanga, hands and arms stay shoulder width apart. Inhale, open your heart. I'm going to choose up dog this time. You might choose something different. Exhale, downward facing dog. On an inhale, lift your right heel up toward the heavens. Right toes turn down to face the earth. Press firmly through the heel of that right foot. Inhale. Exhale, round forward, knee to your nose. Inhale, lengthen out, three-legged dog. Exhale, rock forward, right knee to right elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to left elbow under your body. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, warrior one. Step your right foot forward. Maybe replace your right hand with your right foot. Rise into warrior one. Maybe hands on that front thigh, maybe heart center. Maybe arms reaching up overhead. One more option. What I'm going to do today is interlace my hands at the base of my skull, tweeze my elbows forward, and look up. Press the pinky edge blade of your left foot even more firmly, root it even more firmly down into the earth. Inhale. Exhale, release your hands down to the earth. Step back into high plank. And then press directly into down dog or flow through a vinyasa at the cadence and the pace of your own breath. Inhale, lift your left heel skyward. Breathe, breathing the whole time. Inhale. Exhale, round forward, knee to your nose. Inhale, lengthen out to a three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee to right elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, warrior one. All those options you had on the other side, you have those here too. I'm going back to this brain cradle. My hands interlaced at the base of my skull, gently pressing the back of my head into my hands. Ground down into all four corners of your left foot and the pinky edge blade and heel of your right foot. Inhale. Exhale, release your hands down to the earth, step back into high plank, and then chart your own course to down dog. On an inhale, bend your knees, look forward, exhale, walk or step to the top edge of your mat. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high plank. Inhale in high plank. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. On an inhale, lift your right heel up toward the heavens. Exhale, step forward, rise into warrior one. Stable and engaged as you rise. Exhale, high plank. Inhale in high plank. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left heel up toward the heavens. Exhale, step it forward into warrior one. Rise on your inhale. Exhale, release your hands down to the earth, high plank. And then down dog or flow through a vinyasa at the cadence and the pace of your own breath. On an inhale, bend your knees. Look forward. Exhale, move to the top edge of your mat. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high plank. Inhale in high plank. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. On an inhale, lift your right heel up toward the heavens. Exhale, step your right leg forward, rise into warrior one. Rise on your inhale. Exhale, open up into warrior two, Virabhadrasana. Pinky edge blade of your left foot now parallel with the back edge of your mat. So in that transition, if you tend to go wide with the feet in warrior one, you're going to have to adjust the feet when you step into warrior two. Now, a couple things to look for here. There's kind of a natural human tendency for the shoulders to scoot forward. Stack your joints. Float your head over your shoulders, over your hips. Take a peek down at that right knee. And first of all, if the right knee's coming forward to your right ankle, walk the right foot forward. And there's a tendency for that right knee to cave inward. Press it back out toward the pinky edge blade of your right foot. Soften the flesh around your eyes, soften the quality of your gaze. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to the earth. Step back into high plank. And then make your way into down dog in the way that makes the most sense to you. On an inhale, lift your left heel up toward the heavens. Exhale, step forward, rise up into warrior one. And then open into warrior two. Find a place for your gaze that's pleasing for your neck, right? Maybe it is out over the middle finger of your left hand. Maybe it's back in line with your sternum. Option to come a little deeper into that lunging action in the left hip, or hold exactly what you got. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to the earth, high plank, and then flow through a vinyasa at the cadence and the pace of your own breath. From your downward facing dog, drawing a deep, life-affirming breath. Hold it at the top, sip in even more air, and then open your mouth, let that all go. On an inhale, lift your right heel up toward the stars. Exhale, step it forward. Rise up into crescent warrior, floating your right knee over your right ankle, lifting the heel of your left foot. Maybe hands on that front thigh, maybe hands at heart center, maybe warrior one arms. But engage your legs. Find a muscular engagement as if you were dragging the ball of your left foot forward to touch the heel of your right foot. Yep, it looks really good, friend. You're doing the pose already. Only if you want more sensation, put a bend in that left knee. Lower it closer down toward the earth. Find your gauge, find your dristi. Remembering that this is also a balancing pose. Inhale, straighten your left leg. Exhale, slice your hands down into heart center. Inhale, find a little hinge forward at the hips. Exhale, revolved crescent warrior. So the left elbow, there's not a law that says the left elbow has to be on the outside or the top of the right thigh. Right, that's one of many options. You could also do this as an easy twist. So 2 more breaths and then a big opening into warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, open into warrior two. On your next inhale, start pressing into your right heel, straighten your right leg. Reach your arms up over your head. 3 dancing Shivas. Exhale, slice your hands down through heart center, lengthen back out into warrior two. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lengthen. On an inhale, flip your right palm, let it draw you forward. Exhale, come into a peaceful warrior, maintaining these warrior two legs, just opening up more space on this right side of the body. Any gaze here that's supportive of your neck is just great. Transition here will be directly to extended side angle. Inhale. Exhale, extended side angle pose. Right elbow on the right inner thigh. Maybe left hand on the low back or hip. Or right hand down to the mat or to a block. Maybe float the fingers of your left arm up toward the heavens. Or you could also fold that left bicep over your ear, fingers reaching up toward the top edge of your mat. But continue pressing the back of your heart into an imaginary wall, maintaining openness through the heart and the chest. Maybe a lot of fire in these legs here. We've been in these warrior two legs for a while. On an inhale, rise back up into warrior two. Straighten your right leg. Draw your left hip pocket back behind you. Right hand comes forward and then down into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Nice place for a block under that right hand. Once again, maybe the hip stays, the left hand stays on the hip of the low back the whole time, or maybe you float the fingers of your left hand up toward the stars. Find that same action of pressing the back of your heart into an imaginary wall. Your next inhale, let your right hand draw you all the way up to standing. Step your left foot forward a footprint or two. Change the angle of the toes on the left foot, about, 11 o'clock. I'm going to stage blocks on either side of my right thigh for pyramid pose. On an inhale, open your heart. Maybe lift your fingers up toward the stars. Lift your gaze. Exhale, hinge forward at the hips, folding over that right thigh. Relax your neck. Press your right hip back toward the back edge of your mat. Draw your left hip forward toward the left edge of your mat. Relax your neck even more. No vinyasa on the transition this time. 2 more breaths. And then I'll just have you step your left foot forward to meet your right. Inhale. Exhale, step your left leg forward, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press into your feet, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, slice your hands down through heart center and then down by your waist, palms face forward. Samasthiti. Shift the weight into your heels. Find a light action of drawing your belly button towards your sternum. And then ground down into all 4 corners of your left foot. Lift your right knee, standing leg raise. For bent knee, if you like, catch your right knee with your right hand. Flex the toes on your right foot back towards your face. Maybe left hand on the left hip. Or wrap the peace fingers of your right hand around your right foot. Press the sole of your right foot forward. Ground down into all four corners of your left foot again. Press into your left foot. Lengthen along your spinal column by another inch. And you can stay right here, or whether that right leg is straight or bent, open your right hip out to the side. Maybe lengthen the left arm long as a counterbalance. And then maybe shift your gaze over the fingers of your left hand. Soften the flesh around your eyes, soften the quality of your gaze. And keep engaging the toes on the right foot. 2 more breaths and then the transition will be directly into tree pose. So the sole of the right foot will press somewhere on the inside of the left leg. The ball of the right foot could be on the earth, or the heel could be all the way up into the groin. All right, make that transition into tree pose. Any arms, you could do reverse namaste. That's not in my practice. It might be in yours. Press your right knee toward the back edge of your mat. Create space and length between your right kneecap and your left hip. In any arms. Today I'm going to choose to float my fingers up toward the stars and shift my gaze up toward the sun. Continue pressing down into the sole of your left foot, lengthening out of the crown of your head. And slowly, deliberately, with control, draw everything down through center. Samastishihi again. On an inhale, sweep your arms up over your head. Exhale, hinge into a forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, step back into high plank. Inhale in high plank. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. On an inhale, lift your left heel up toward the stars. Exhale, reach it forward, crescent warrior. Once again, any arm variation. Find a single point of focus for your gaze. Soften the flesh around your eyes. Feel into what's happening with your hands. I'd like them to be active, but not over-engaged. And then just like the other side, only if you want more in the legs, put a bend in your right knee. Inhale, straighten your right leg. Exhale, draw your hands into heart center. Inhale, find a little hinge forward at the hips. Exhale, revolved crescent warrior. Each inhale, lengthen more along your spinal column from your tailbone to the crown of your head. But you don't have to go deeper into the twist on each exhale unless your body calls for that. Big opening into warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, open up into warrior two. On your next inhale, start pressing into your left heel, lift the toes, lengthen the arms, reach them up over your head. Exhale, slice the hands down through heart center, lengthen the arms out back to warrior two legs. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale, flip your right palm. Exhale, open your left rib cage toward the top edge of your mat. Peaceful warrior. Check in with the legs. If you lost the bend in your left leg, if you can, put that bend back in place. And can you create even more space and length from the tip of your left pinky finger down to your left hip? Inhale. Exhale, extended side angle pose. There's a bit of a human tendency for us to get so hungry to get that lower hand, in this case the left hand, down toward the earth, that we compromise and we collapse in the heart. So if you would keep your heart open, even if your hand has to be much higher up. On an inhale, lift back up into warrior two. Straighten your left leg. And then Trikonasana, triangle pose on the second side. Maybe pressing the back of your heart and your right shoulder more firmly into that invisible wall. Inhale, lift. Let your right hand draw you back up. We're setting up for pyramid pose. Maybe stage the blocks, but step your right leg forward toward the top edge of your mat, a footprint or two. Angle of the right toes, mine are now 1 or 2 o'clock. Inhale, open your heart up to the top edge of your mat. Exhale, forward fold. Once again, this next transition, we're going to go to balancing on the other side, so no vinyasa necessary. Inhale. Exhale, step your right leg forward to meet your left at the top edge of your mat. Forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands through heart center. And then down by your waist, palms face forward. Ground down into all 4 corners of your right foot. Lift your left leg, standing leg raise, bent knee or straight leg. Stay right here, or open that left hip out to the side. Maybe challenge your balance with your gaze, maybe not. And if the balance is really easy, even with your gaze out over the fingers of your right hand, you could close your eyes. Transition into any version of tree pose. Continue to lengthen along your whole spinal column. Inhale. Exhale, draw everything down through center. Come back into Samasthiti. Inhale, sweep your arms up over your head. Exhale, hinge into a forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, high plank. From your high plank, tap your knees down to the earth. Lower down to your belly. Goal post your arms out to the side, elbows in line with your shoulders. Fingers reaching forward toward the top edge of your mat. You can lengthen your legs long first. And then on an inhale, scoop your belly button towards your sternum. Exhale, lift just your upper body. Everything from the waist up rises. Hands are alive. Draw your shoulder blades together. Continue to breathe, breathing the whole time. Find some ease in your neck. Maybe shift your gaze directly under your head. Lift up any amount higher. And then lower your heart down to the earth. Maintain these goalpost arms. Shift your gaze to the left. Bring your gaze back to neutral. On an inhale, lift your whole upper body up off the earth. Rooting your pubic bone down into the earth. Maybe start to lift your legs up off the earth too. If you do so, you could experiment with flexing your toes back towards your face, pressing back through your heels. Draw your shoulder blades together more. And then lower your heart down to the earth. We're going to start some core work right away. So come into a forearm plank. Now this could be off the knees, but float your shoulders over your elbows. Keep the back of your neck long, so back of your head in line with the back of your heart. Or tuck your toes under your feet. Pressing your heels toward the back edge of your mat, puffing the space between your shoulder blades skyward. If your knees are lifted, tap your knees down. Release your hips down to the earth. Sphinx pose. Press the shoelace parts of your feet into the mat. Soften your belly. Drag your elbows back toward your waist. And then forearm plank. And breathe, breathing the whole time. Transition to Sphinx pose. One last forearm plank. Keep the back of your head buoyant. Continue pressing the space between your shoulder blades up toward the stars. Continue to breathe. And then our last Sphinx pose of the practice. Inhale. Exhale. Lower your heart down to the earth. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Lift up into a downward facing dog. On an inhale, lift your right heel up toward the stars. Exhale, half pigeon. Right knee to the far right hand edge of your mat. Left shin or right shin could be parallel to the top edge of your mat or significantly angled towards your groin. Tuck your toes under your left foot. Walk your left leg long behind you. Open your heart on an inhale. And you could stay right here the whole time, actually, or start to walk forward over that right shin. Any amount. Maybe your heart comes all the way down to the earth. Mine's not going to do that right now. Either way is just great. Check in for gripping, especially in the deep six lateral hip rotators on the outside of your right hip. And see if you can release that. Find a little bit more ease, a little bit more slack as your hips reach down toward the earth. All right, you're already lifted. That's perfect. I'm going to walk my hands up onto my shoulders. And then for both of us, if you would, tuck your toes onto your left foot, lift back up into down dog, and then right away we'll take the other side. Lift your left heel up toward the stars. Exhale, sit up for any version of half pigeon on the second side. Check for gripping again. And see if you can introduce some ease. And maybe the ease that you introduce isn't even in the hips. Maybe it's someplace else. Once again, you're lifted, but I'm going to walk my hands under my shoulders. Tuck your toes under your right foot. Lift back up into down dog. And then tap your knees down to the earth. Side saddle your legs off to the side. Come onto your back in sort of a bridge setup. Tee your arms out to the side. Shift your hips over to the right. And then hook the pinky edge blade of your right foot on the outside of your left thigh. And then drop your left knee and the sole of your right foot down to the earth. Maybe shift your gaze out over the fingers of your right hand. Lift your knees back up into center. Release your right foot down to the earth. Walk your hips over to the left. Hook the pinky edge blade of your left foot on the outside of your right thigh. And then just like the other side, drop your right knee and the sole of your left foot down to the earth. Invitation to shift your gaze out over the fingers of your left hand this time. And once again, lift your knees back up to center. Release the sole of your left foot down to the earth.
And from there, friend, sit up into any final resting shape. Anything in your seat, your belly, your back, or your side where you can find ease and be attentive to your experience. You release that victorious breath, come back to a comfortable, natural breath. If your body's ready for and inclined toward movement now, I would start that really subtly, maybe even by swallowing a few times. And then start to initiate that movement with the breath, taking some deeper breaths. And as those breaths start to open up some space in your body, maybe start to reanimate your body with other small movements. And then as those small movements open up more and more space, if your body invites you to do so, maybe you let those small movements spiral out and become larger and larger. It could look like anything, it could feel like anything. And there's no rush to get there. But if you would, if you're on a movement path this morning, make your way onto either side into a fetal position. Check in, notice how you're feeling, notice the quality of your physical body. Maybe see if you can feel the effects from all the twists that we did in the practice today. Maybe notice the quality of your nervous system as well. And then press yourself up into any seated position, any soft eyes, any hands of your choice. Thank you, dear friend, for moving and breathing with me once again today. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. And may you know peace. If you're moved to do so, draw your thumbs to the space between your eyebrows. Blessings to you and your family. And that concludes our practice for today. Once again, I'm Chris. I'm from Transformation Nation Yoga and Wellness. Great job in our Vinyasa flow practice. You're doing great. Keep going.